Hello, my name is Grace, and as always, welcome back to Gravecraft. Recently, I went to C2E2 in Chicago with my friends Iron Bear Armory and James Gets Spooky.
Sorry.
And they both make costumes from Dark Souls, so honestly, I just really wanted to fit in. I really do love Dark Souls, and well, yes, I had my friends kind of carry me through it. Because I am bad at Souls-like games. I think I mentioned that previously. Maybe that was just being bad at platformers. I'm really bad at platformers. I'm bad at platformers and Souls-like games. So on that, let's make Yuria of Londor. I also got this really cool opportunity to be a handler for my friend Sunlight of Astora. He was a national competitor for the Crown Championship. How cool is that?
My friend James also competed in the C2E2 competition, and he got to scare the crap out of Yayan.
No big deal.
I got to be backstage and talk to the other competitors and see up close how they made their costumes, and it was just such a cool experience. I kind of feel like this is eerily close to my last intro. Anyway, I'm feeling crafty, so let's go glue some things to other things.
To start off, I am using Guts's Berserk Glove pattern. Ugh, that's a lot of words. A lot of words and a lot of pattern pieces to trace and then cut out.
That went all over the floor.
I also discovered that if you use your soldering iron, you can melt the foam, and if you stick it together really fast, it cools down and sticks together without using any glue whatsoever. Nice. Then I just glued all the lames together. I weathered it, and it's looking pretty good. Then I continued on in the hopes of becoming America's next top model, and then just traced all the rest of my armor pieces onto SKS Props HD foam. And you guessed it, I cut them out.
Oh, Jesus. I'm dropping pace. Oh.
Then I just did a V-cut down the bracers so it would have this really cool angle, and I didn't have to cut all the way through the foam. I shoved some barge in the little gaps and glued them together. So I don't really show my patterning process too much. This is one way I do it. I use saran wrap and duct tape either on my body or my body form. And I just use a Sharpie to trace out my lines. You can even use tape to give it some different shapes and curves.
Oh! Should have done an unboxing video.
Yeah.
I got lights! Does this make me a professional now? Probably not.
Wow, look at that fancy lighting. It definitely makes things look a lot more professional. Oh, and for tracing, I started using this little engraver pen. The lines are still easy to see, but just be careful you don't press down too hard because you will start to score your foam. After cutting out our pattern, we then just glue it together.
It's just the weirdest thing I've ever done.
Then, after weirdly heat forming it, we glue on the collar.
She really likes it when I blow on her neck. Well, beans.
I used elastic to attach the shoulder pieces so that way they would be more flexible and easier to wear. Then I filled a little cellophane cone with some of this 3D puff paint and did my best to add some scroll work. It took a few tries, but I eventually got to a look that I liked.
Today, what we're going to be doing is... I have my foam clay. I got that in the mail yesterday. And we're going to give this a shot because this is like... That's old. It's very old, and I don't think it's going to work. So we're going to use this today. I guess we'll just start laying down all of the details on the Georgette. Is that the correct word for this part of armor? Oh my god. My friend Iron Bear Armory would be very upset with me if I did not know the name of this armor piece. So I'm going to go with Georgette, and hopefully it's right.
What is this called?
A gorget.
Gorget.
It's technically supposed to protect your neck, but that covers up your Wait a second. No, it doesn't cover up your boobies.
So it's not Georgette.
No, it's not
It's
Georgette.
Shit. Is it right? Also, go check out his YouTube because he's amazing and just started his channel. So, go check it out. Here's my World of Warcraft water cup. Let's pull up a reference image and I'm just gonna get started. Okie dokie, artichoke.
I will say this, and I don't know if I've said this in the past, but I don't like foam clay. It never behaves the way I want it to, and it just really frustrates me. So, working with it a lot in this build was... I didn't like it. But I did, however, like adding all the cute little flower details with some black warbler. Then I battle damaged it and primed it with 2 layers of plastidip. Next up is Lego armor, and I just did all the same steps previously, traced it, cut it, glued it. I also took a break to eat this ice cream sandwich.
I'm lactose intolerant. I shouldn't be freaking eating this. My tummy already hurts and I'm halfway done. Like, I could stop. But I'm not going to.
I think one of the silliest things that I do is eat things that hurt my tummy, knowing that they're going to hurt my tummy, and then I get fussy that my tummy hurts. Okay, I cut out a bunch of lambs for the foot armor so that way they could articulate, but realized that the only thing that needed to articulate was the first lamb and the toe armor. I lined them up, marked where they needed to go, and then punched some holes so I could add Chicago screws later. Okay, now let's start patterning the helmet. And I don't really know what to say here. Patterning is kind of just trial and error. It's a lot of years of me learning what shapes do what, so it's really difficult to explain. Also, I am covered in cat hair. I'm sorry. Once I think I'm okay with the pattern, I transfer it over to craft foam.
These might be too close together. I'll be right back.
After my rant, yeah, I remade it.
What I did was I did a 45-degree cut on both sides to this line here, and then just a straight cut going down. And then I made the eyes a little bit further apart and a little bit higher up.
I'm wondering if anyone will notice the difference at all. I finished gluing all the top pieces and then worked on the front plate and the back plate of the helmet. Then I just glued it all together. Then I got a kitty visit. Then, after gluing all the pieces together, that means we need to move over to foam clay, which I'm not looking forward to, so instead, let's take a snack break.
Good morning. Today is another day we are working with foam clay. Unfortunately. I have glasses on. Oh my gosh, we are done. We are done, we are done, we are done with the foam clay.
Sweet relief. I am so happy with the way that this helmet came out. If I may say, I think it looks amazing. Oh yeah, I also cut out the hip armor. Oops, forgot to film that. I used a soldering iron, like always, to add some really cool textures, weathering, and battle damage. Then I primed it all. Woo! Nice. As always, with 3 layers of Plasti Dip.
You've already started. So.
I can see your feet. There you go. I can see your feet again. Stop putting your feet in my video. I'm gonna have to blur them out.
Whoops, sorry. Too lazy, don't feel like blurring them out. I just used some good old-fashioned silver rub and buff for all of the silver on this armor. And ta-da! All the armor is painted.
Hey, Lobo.
Next up are these little skirt tab thingies she's got going on. I heated up some 2mm craft foam, shoved on a little mold, and embossed it, and it actually worked really well. And yes, that's Nala. If you see it, you see it. I just had to do it like 1,000 times, and then I used puff paint for all of the little swirly details and the trim. Then I primed with Plasti Dip, and again with the silver rub and buff. Actually, let's do this a different way. I had my friend World of 1,000 Suns 3D model and print all the rest of her tabs, and it was a lifesaver. He printed so many for me. And all I had to do was fill, prime, and paint.
Take a moment to appreciate how beautiful these are and the amazing details that World of 1,000 Suns was able to get on here. Like, he sculpted all of this. He added every bit of detail on this. I couldn't have asked for a better print or a better artist to make this for me. Like, they're so beautiful. Fabric. What do I say about fabric that isn't extraordinarily negative? I just honestly don't have the patience for it. I appreciate the people who do, but I am not one of them. It's like any other hobby. I need to get better at it, and the only way to get better at it is to just do it. So, no glue involved in this fabric part. Just this guy right there, which is my sewing machine. Just me and him.
I am going to be using these two patterns and altering them a little bit to fit Yuria's design.
If this doesn't work, I might cry. I'm losing my mind. I'm just gonna eat this chocolate pudding.
We're all about learning here on Gravecraft, and this pocket pudding was actually dairy-free, so look at me go. From paper patterns to muslin patterns, I just sewed everything together to make sure that the fit looked good before I went and cut it out of my main fabric.
I'm really happy. I've got thread in my hair. I'm really happy with the way that this looks.
Alright, now we get to do all of that over again with our main fabric. Starting with our bodice, I am just clamping everything together, doing the darts and the piping first. Then I sew everything together and add some like little lace details. It's not in the character design at all, but I always like to add extra little pizzazz and textures where I can. Then I attach this little bib piece, which again was not in the main character design, and sewed in the arms, and the bodice was done. Now the skirt was pretty simple. I did end up adding some pockets so I could hold my cell phone, and of course I added extra lace and some embroidery details.
We're going to leave a teeny tiny little space open, probably about right here, so we can slide in the elastic and then we'll close it later. So off camera, I made the underskirt. It was just a simple rectangle style skirt, and I sewed in an elastic waistband and then a wire from a hoop skirt on the bottom. This. I added the hoop skirt so that way we could go in and hand sew in every single scale, and it would just be good support and hopefully not collapse from all the weight. So it's going to take forever to get these hand sewn on, so let's get started.
Where are you? Leon is 1, so that's got to be... Wait, do we have James in Soul?
Negative, no. Right,
Okay.
so we've just got to put them in order then, I'm guessing.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Using a safety pin, we now slide in our elastic. Then I added some nylon straps to help keep the skirt in place and not fall down from all the weight.
I sewed on dog tags and metal bits that give it that really good metal clink. Oh my god, it's so loud.
And for the final last steps, I glued in some wefts to the helmet, and then I added some chalk pastels to make them all grimy and gross and dirty.
We are done with Yuria. So excited. So before we get to the final results, I did just want to quickly say thank you so much for watching, and that I am going to have all of my Yuria armor patterns available on my Etsy page. I also have other patterns on there too if you want to check it out. In the meantime, if you want to see what I'm working on, what I want to work on, or just my dog, I have an Instagram page, so go and check that out as well. No more talking. Enough is enough. Let's finally take a look at our finished Yuria costume. Woo!
Fushigi! Stop tippy tapping. Stop.
That was genuine.